Hi, grammar and writing students, and welcome to our intro and conclusion paragraphs in a compare and contrast paper. Just as with any paper you write, you do need to kind of have a big bow wrapped around it, and you need to have an introduction that entices your reader to read, and you need to have a conclusion that kind of wraps up everything that you have stated in your paper. So we are going to begin. I am going to actually take you through the writing of my introduction and conclusion, and you'll see kind of how my thoughts flowed. And as you're working, I'd like you to have your keyword outline in front of you so that you can be jotting down keywords and thoughts for your own introduction and conclusion, which you will be doing this week, and then we will be turning these in. So let's begin. So the first thing in my introduction paragraph is that I want to start with a question or statement about the topic. I want to draw the reader in, and I really think that great quotes, statistical information will draw people in. Now, I began mine with a statement, not a question, but you could easily turn this into a question. So scientists say that the Earth is billions of years old, but the Bible seems to indicate a younger Earth. Now, that doesn't really highlight what my topic is going to be. It kind of heads us in a direction. I could have also said that there are many theories about how the world came into being. I could have asked a question. Did you know that scientists say that the Earth is billions of years old? So there's a number of things you can use here. I would encourage you to look back through your sources and see if there's a great quote, if there's a statistic, and use that to start your paragraph. You may not use what I have written. You can always change the wording some, but you may not do my exact paragraph. So the number 2, we want to elaborate on that statement. Say a little bit more about it, or answer the question if we've presented a question. Now, I've gone on to say it seems that science and the Bible disagree. But do they really? And then that sort of opens it up for me to go on. So your first 2 sentences are really going to be kind of a bouncing around with the ideas that you're going to present. And again, you could present material, a quote, perhaps a saint has said something, perhaps a pope has said something, perhaps some other great man of faith or woman of faith has said something, and you want to, I think Alan Ham is, I can't remember his first name, Ham is the last name, does a lot of information about the creation of the earth from a biblical perspective. Look for those kinds of things to include. So let's go on. Your third sentence in your introduction paragraph. Explain your topic and introduce the 3 topics, the 3 body paragraph topics that you're going to present. So here's my sentence. A careful examination of the text of Scripture and of scientific resources explaining Big Bang theories will begin our deliberations. And then there will be a careful review of the similarities and differences between the 2. So right there I'm outlining. We're going to examine Scripture, we're going to examine scientific resources, and then we're going to look at the similarities and differences between the 2. So those are my 3 body paragraphs, and that's going to be really similar for just about everybody. I would put them in the order, so if you do Big Bang Theory first, and then Scripture, and then the similarities and differences, then put them in that order. So however you proceed through your paper is the order you want to give. Then my 4th one is going to kind of wrap up that intro paragraph and transition me. We have not worked very hard this year on transition words, but the last quarter, we will be working more on transitioning from paragraph to paragraph. So here's mine. Understanding both of these theories is important, and here's my transition. To begin, we will look at the creation story in the Bible. Now you will notice in this paper that I am using some first person, and then some places I don't. You are allowed to use first person in a compare-contrast paper, mostly in the intro and conclusion because you are stating some of the things that you believe. So I use it here. We will look. And the reason I use we and not I is because I'm pulling the reader in with me. We together are going to look at this. All right, so here's my whole paragraph. Scientists say that the Earth is billions of years old, but the Bible seems to indicate a younger Earth. It seems that science and the Bible disagree, but do they really? A careful examination of the text of Scripture and scientific resources will view the various theories of creation. So here is my topic. Sorry about the typo in there. And then there will be a comparison. Let me get rid of that. A comparison and contrast of these two theories. Understanding both is important. And to begin, there's my transition. We will look at the creation story in the Bible. So my introduction paragraph is beginning with a broader topic. Then down here, right in the middle, is where I actually give you kind of where we're going with this paper. And then I give the last topic there. So that's how we begin with our introduction paragraph. So I would pause, take a minute, and jot down your thoughts for your introduction, trying to use some of these principles. Now the next part would be to the final paragraph that we do is going in this one. Sometimes you do the conclusion before you do the introduction, but in this one the conclusion needs to come last because you have to decide how you're going to choose on this. You want to give an opinion, and so the conclusion paragraph needs to be the last one you do. So you're going to state the broad topic again and clarify that this is a complicated topic. So my example, it is obvious that no one observed Earth's creation. Therefore, faith is required, whichever position you choose. So I've kind of taken something like, most people say that in order for something to be true, you have to observe it. But that's not the case here. No one was around when the Earth was created. So therefore, we do need faith in either theory that we choose. So let me move now to the second statement, or the second sentence in my conclusion paragraph. After looking, this is where I restate my topic, so look for them. After looking at Scripture's account of creation, there's the first one. The scientist's view of creation, there's the second one. And how the two compare and differ, there's the third one. One should try and determine where they stand on the issue. This is almost like a little transition piece. Then 3 and 4, and each of the introduction and conclusion paragraphs should have at least 4 very well written sentences, not 4 short sentences, 4 very well written sentences. You can add more if you have more things you want to say, especially in the conclusion. So here are the last 2 sentences of mine. They should be a reflection of what you believe and perhaps a quote or confirmation of that belief from someone famous or something that you've heard maybe. So here is are my final 2 sentences. With much deliberation, my faith must rest on God as creator. There is my belief. I'm stating that. And I do want you to state that. Now, if you are conflicted in your belief and you are not sure which side you land on yet, then you need to say that, and you need to give me some information as to why you're kind of in that being on the fence a little bit. Then I finish it up with, as Erica Goros says, thank God I have seen an orange sky with purple clouds. How easy it is to forget that we have the privilege of living in God's art gallery. So her quote is confirming my belief that He is the one creating all of this. So here's my final paragraph. It is obvious that no one observed Earth's creation. Therefore, faith is required, whichever position you choose. After looking at Scripture's account of creation, the scientist's view of creation, and how the two compare and differ, one should try and determine where they stand on the issue. With much deliberation, my faith must rest on God as creator. As Erica Goros says, thank God I have seen an orange sky with purple clouds. How easy it is to forget that we have the privilege of living in God's art gallery. So there you have it, the intro and conclusion paragraphs. You should be completing those before Wednesday, and bringing those with your other 3 body paragraphs. Those do need to be turned in by Wednesday. I would like them in person. I would like the hard copies. I really don't want to print out more papers to review. So please make sure you bring those with you on Wednesday, or that you arrange to have your parent bring them to me at another time at my house. So thank you, and I will see you next week.